HiveMind, and I just got another issue of the LEGO Ninjago Magazine. This month's issue comes with an Imperium Claw Hunter minifigure as well as one bonus minifigure, and in the case of my magazine, I got a Core Cull minifigure. The bonus minifigures I believe are only a thing in the UK. I do import my magazines from the UK, and depending on what store you buy the magazine from and just like what stock they have, you may get a different bonus minifigure than me, but the one I got just happened to be Core Cull. I will say, as far as bonus minifigures go, that one's not the most exciting because of course it is a Core minifigure. I definitely prefer this to Core J, which was another one of the options, because Core J is a very common figure while Core Cull is the rarest of the Core suits, but at the end of the day it is still a Core suit, so not super exciting to get because I have plenty of it already, but I suppose for kids it's nice to have another way to get this guy for cheap. Regardless though, I'll talk more about both the minifigures later in this video. For now, let's take a look at the magazine itself. So I'm going to remove both these poly bags from the front of the magazine. So here's the full cover of the magazine with everything removed. It says LEGO Toy, Cool Cyberlands, and Hunts Dragons, Imperium Claw Hunter. I actually like the effects around this one, like the black background and everything in this font right here. It seems like they put a little more effort into advertising this than they normally do. But yeah, this guy's a really exciting figure because he's a great army builder and he's not the most common in the sets, but he's super prevalent in the show. So I'm definitely appreciative of having a cheaper way to get this guy. We also have a Mega Facts on the Merge, full focus on the realms. An epic comic, which I am looking forward to. It looks like it involves Aaron in some way. Danger in the Jungle. Can the ninja make a dramatic escape? And then we also have some super posters. So let's just get this open. Just like last month, we start out with an advertisement for LEGO Technic. I think that's a bit odd to be advertising in the Ninjago magazine, but sure, alright. Ooh, this is kind of cool. It seems like the posters are going to follow a style for the next 3 magazines. That's actually pretty neat. I don't think they've done that before. But now let's turn to the first page right here, and here's the page on the Imperium Claw Hunter. Imperium Claw Hunter. These villains are always on the lookout for new dragons and are equipped with powerful blades. They can fire super strong energy ropes, ninja tip, be on your guard dragons. His bosses. There's a clear chain of command in Imperium. The gold-armored claw hunters serve the generals who are cloaked in black. They in turn answer to Raptor and reports to Lord Raz. Sitting on her throne at the very top is Empress Beatrix. His job, they hunt, capture, and imprison dragons. The claw hunters must ensure that Imperium is supplied with energy from the dragons. They do mention right here that they are just normal citizens under the armor, which is so strange to me. I feel like these minifigures were definitely designed to be robots because they feel so robotic, and I get like Imperium's a high-tech society, but I don't know, I just cannot see this as armor. So the first time watching the show where they just had regular voices, it was so bizarre to me. I do love these minifigure designs though, some of the best generic Ninjago villains we've gotten in years. Here I have a little seek and find game with the Imperium Claw Hunters, and now we turn to the next page where it looks like we have 2 mazes. It's called Trip Through the Realms. Help the Green Ninja find the correct path through one realm after another. Crack the Mega Maze. So it looks like you start with this maze and then go to the second one, but they're meant to be like one big thing. You're also supposed to collect carrots along the way for Ryu, which is very, very funny, but I like that. Yeah, I think that's a fun way to like mix up the idea of a maze. Then we have Escape the Jungle. This is just a little dice rolling board game, very cute. Here we have a coloring page to color in your own mechs. I like that a lot. Then turning to the next page, here we are at the comic. Ooh, the Master Wu ghost is in this one. Very, very cool. But yeah, of course, as always, I'm not going to read this entire comic to you guys, so feel free to pause the video and read it for yourself. But if I notice anything especially funny or interesting, I will stop and point it out to you. Okay, wow, this is actually really cool. Sora's like picking up on the Master Wu signal. Because of course in the show, we don't see Lloyd ever talk to the Master Wu spirit, right? It's only Kai, Nia, and Cole. Very curious what they're going to establish here. I'm looking forward to the rest of this. But yeah, of course, now we'll turn the page. Oh wow, they go to the Land of Lost Things in this comic. I'm pretty sure this did come out before part 2 as well. Would have been cool to read it before. We would have gotten like a little teaser for this area. Okay, so Sora's looking for parts here and Rapton's trying to catch Ryu. And uh-oh, it's confrontation time. Rapton causes a bunch of junk to fall on top of Lloyd. And then we are at the break in the comics, so let's turn to this page and we have Katana Combo. Here you have to follow this sequence of steps to get from start to finish. Then of course here are the posters in the middle. This is a part of that 4-part poster that was advertised earlier, but this one is Zane and Sora, and it's got Zane's car and Sora's mech bike. Very cool. I actually like this design a lot. Those effects on the side are very fun. It's got both their names written in jargon. And even though these are just like set images or renders of the characters, I think they fit in well. Nothing's like too crazy out of place here. But more importantly, the poster on the other side is of Rapton. You can see he's all big front and center, and it just says Rapton is in control. I genuinely quite like this one as well though. You got a screenshot of the show of Rapton capturing a dragon in the back, but this renders like front and center. This text looks good. Yeah, the graphic designers have been knocking it out of the park. Really, really love how this one turned out. Both are quite good this time around. Now back to the magazine, we have Cutting Analysis, where you have to rearrange these strips to be the screenshot from the show. And then we got some Maths Mania, which is basically just a, like a minion Facebook post, but textured to be Ninjago themed. It's getting kids to do math, I guess that's a good thing. Anyway, now of course we are back to the comic. They're escaping using Aaron's grappling hook. I love every single one of these little illustrations of Ryu. Just look at him. Look how perfectly shaped he is. What a wonderful little guy. Anyway, Sora creates a hologram of Lloyd to distract Rapton, and they're able to chase Rapton away, but they don't get what they need, so unfortunately they're not going to be able to track down Master Wu. So overall, I think this was a pretty fun comic. This is unfortunately one of those I think cannot be considered canon, because this would imply that Sora came to the Land of Lost Things before she did in the show, and in the show she's like, wow, I didn't know this place was real, but obviously she would have learned here that yes, it is real. But I think this comic's a prime example of what the magazines can do sometimes. Because the magazine comics are not canon. Sometimes they could be considered canon, but they're not officially canon. What they do though, is take elements of canon and make new stories with them, like they did with the Land of Lost Things here. And as I said, this magazine came out before those episodes aired, so if I had gotten it back then, this would have been our first introduction to the Land of Lost Things. So going forward, if the magazine introduces a new land or something we haven't seen in the show yet, there is a chance that we will see that later on, and the magazine's just giving us a little teaser for it. So that's why I always like to read these comics even if they aren't canon, because I do think there's still value to be gained from them, and also the stories are just fun. I've actually really enjoyed the Dragons Rising ones so far. I like seeing all the characters interact, I like seeing Ryu, just very fun all around. But of course, while that's the end of the comic, that is not the end of the magazine. So here on the next page we have Realms Galore, and this is just information on 4 of the different realms. The Ninjago realm, the Dark realm, which I believe they mean the Realm of Madness, Cloud Kingdom, and the Wildness. They do call back to where we first see them, for example the Realm of Madness back in Season 1, and Cloud Kingdom back in Possession, and funnily enough they call Dragons Rising Season 17, which no, it's a different show, we're not numbering it like that anymore, but apparently some of the future magazines will detail some of the other realms. They call back to the Mountain of Madness from Season 1, I'm curious if we're ever going to see that again, that's kind of a cool location. And then nothing too crazy going on here, it's mostly just stuff we already know. They do mention Wildfire being the master of heat, which is something that we do know. It hasn't been said in the show yet, but promotional material like this has already said it. And of course we get a little hint of that in the final episode of Dragons Rising. But yeah, as I said, nothing too crazy going on here. Feel free to pause and read for yourself if you want, but I'm going to turn to the next page for now. This is an advertisement for Sora's Transforming Mech Bike Racer, which, very cool set, that's fair. And then we have a game called Keep Rolling Along. This is like dominoes right here, I guess. And this one you have to spot the claw hunters in here. Here's a survey you could fill out to win some free LEGO sets if you live in the UK. Finally, at the very end, we have an advertisement for next month's Ninjago magazine, and this one's going to come with a Sora minifigure. Definitely very cool to see. This will be by far the cheapest way to get Sora, because I believe at the moment the cheapest set she comes in is $48. So it's certainly going to be nice to get her here because she is one of the main characters of the new show, and she's going to come with a katana with a drill on the end. That's interesting. Similar to Aaron in one of the previous magazines, she's not like a super uncommon figure in this way, but she does come in quite a few sets. However, a lot of the sets are pretty expensive, so for someone like me who already has all the sets, not super exciting, but for kids especially, it's going to be great to get her here. I'm very happy she's coming in the magazine. And then most importantly, in the very back cover, we have some great door hangers. And oh boy, I love these. I love these so much. So we have Please Enter and Let's Rise Together. That's very funny. And then we also have Roz and Rapton together, and it just says, Stop! Go away! And then we have the alternate sides of the door hangers. We have Unlock Your Potential or The Door. I see where they're going for there, not sure if it works, but alright. And then we have Imperium Orders, Turn Around. Yeah, my favorite has to be Please Enter and Let's Rise Together. Yeah, I think that's about it for the magazine. Honestly, pretty great, as it has been lately. I feel like with Dragons Rising, the magazines really took a turn where they put a lot more effort into them, both on the comics and the games and the posters and everything, and I'm very happy to see it. But of course, the most exciting part about the magazine is not the magazine itself, it's the minifigure or minifigures that it comes with. So now let me open those polybags and build them up so we can take a look at these minifigures up a bit closer. So here are the 2 minifigures that this magazine came with all put together. I'm going to start with this guy on the left right here, the Imperium Claw Hunter, because of course he's the minifigure that comes with every copy of this magazine, while Cork Hull is a bonus minifigure, so you may get him, you may not get him. But yeah, as I already mentioned, this guy is fantastic. I think he might be my favorite magazine minifigure of Dragons Rising so far, because as I said, these are just the generic claw hunters in the show. You see so many of them in the show, and I'm pretty sure only 2 of them come in sets. The Imperium Claw Hunter Generals, for some reason, come in more sets than just the generic versions of these guys. So I'm happy to see that this is the version they chose for the magazine, and if you live in a country where the magazines are quite cheap, and you want to get lots of these guys, this could be a pretty decent way to army build them. And on top of that too, he comes with a good weapon as well. He actually comes with a proper Imperium sword. They very easily could have just given him a brick-built weapon and said whatever, so you would still have to get the Imperium swords from somewhere else. But no, this figure is a perfect army builder, and I am so happy to see that. But even beyond this being just an uncommon and very army buildable figure, the figure itself is also just fantastic. The level of detail here is incredible for just a generic villain. They do that thing where it's gold printing on top of gold pieces, and it just makes the minifigure pop so much. I absolutely adore it. And the dark red complements the gold so well, and you've got the touches of orange too to be power running all throughout. These slanted samurai helmets with the horns at the front I always found to be a very wacky design design, but you know what? I actually think it's pretty cool. And there's a look at the full face print and torso print with the armor and helmet removed. You can see the face is obviously very robotic with the 4 eyes and like the little mouth hole at the bottom. And there's a back head print too, where it's just like more of this energy power. Yeah, such an amazing minifigure all around. Fantastic inclusion in the magazine. I am very, very happy to get this guy here, no complaints. And then Cork is an alright inclusion. If you don't have Cork yet, this is one of the cheapest ways to get him. He did come in a previous magazine, as do all bonus minifigures, but if you missed out on that one and you find a magazine that comes with this guy as a bonus minifigure, this is a decent way to get him, because I believe the cheapest full-size set he comes in is $35. The core minifigures are a little bit dated at this point, and they are quite common, but Cole is the least common one, I believe only coming in 3 sets. So if I'm going to get an extra of any of them, I'm happy that it's Cole. And I do like the brick built weapon that he comes with too, this like crystal hammer weapon. Those gold pieces actually look really cool there. He also comes with an additional katana and his armor piece around the back. And Cork in general is probably one of my favorite core suits. I think the orange and the black just look so nice together. And the tan legs I'm mixed on. I think they look fantastic from the front and not nearly as good from the back, but at the very least I like that the suit mixed it up a bit. So yeah, perfectly fine as a bonus, and certainly one that's appreciated, but also not anything all too crazy. And so, overall, what are my thoughts on this magazine? I honestly thought this one was pretty great. I feel like I've been saying that about the last few, but honestly, they've been really good. Comic was very fun, especially if you got it before part 2, because it gave you new details about the show that hadn't come out yet. The Claw Hunter is an amazing minifigure to get here, and Cole's a nice bonus as well. Posters are quite great too, and I'm looking forward to the fact that they're like gonna build upon each other. That's really exciting. So yeah, I think I have nothing but good things to say. If you're someone who's buying Ninjago sets on a budget, and the magazines are like a way to get cool characters for cheap, this might be one you could skip out on, just because it is a generic villain. It's not like a main named character. But honestly, whether you have every Dragons Rising set or you don't have any of them, getting one of the most commonly seen villains in the new show for so cheap is just really nice to see. So yeah, I think I'd recommend this to basically anybody. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this magazine in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!